Hello, welcome back to Sacred Echoes the LTC. Today we're going to be doing Act 2 of Celica. It's going to be far more straightforward than Act 1 was, due to the combination of no early warper and no villagers. Still, due to all mages including Celica's personal class, which is a mage with 5 move, having swap as a class skill, there's still a fair bit of movement tech that I'm pretty happy with. Though in easy mode the convoy is shared, I decided that I won't be taking advantage of this. This is mostly because if I did, then the play would have been to store the Levin sword in the convoy for Saber or Kamui, to use in this act and during Celica Act 3. And, well, after how long the previous video took to edit together and then subtitle, there was no way in hell I was going to redo the video. It does also mean that if I decide to revisit Sacred Echoes sometime for a normal or difficult mode LTC, then there are a few things I would need to change in my overall approach. Prior to Chapter 9, Novis Cemetery, I had to do some editing of weapon stats due to the different army and enemy compositions. I set the basic bow and Rot and Claw down to 0 hit, and set the basic sword, for Celica, and the fire spell to max hit and crit. Thunder I've set to have max hit only, because May has too little skill to crit the boss of this map. May's job and only combat she'll do on this map is to kill the boss, which means that on turn 1 I can just have her swap forward Bowie, who moves forward his full move. Celica and Jenny just move as far forward as possible. Then on the enemy phase, Bowie kills an enemy. I don't think that I particularly need him to do anything, but I also don't think that Celica's going to have issues hitting any benchmarks she would actually need to reach, so him being around for the swapping utility is fine. On turn 2, May begins the boss Thunder Chip. Bowie now swaps Celica forward and Jenny heals Bowie for a tiny bit of experience. On turn 3, Bowie swaps forward Jenny, who then moves forward as far forward as she can, as does Celica. This means that Jenny will be able to get killed on enemy phase, though notably, her experience is far less important than Silque's was on Olm's side, due to not having a movement spell. May continues working down the boss. On turn 4, after 10 billion years, May finally kills the boss and gets a level in the process. Celica keeps on moving forward, and so can Jenny. Lastly, Bowie starts walking back for a certain reason, which I'll explain shortly. Final turn. Jenny heals. Because we're here anyway and they can, Bowie and May both visit a fountain, May for attack, Bowie for speed, and Celica moves forward to kill the last enemy still on the map. And that's Chapter 9 in 5 turns. I definitely could have optimized Jenny's healing experience a bit more, but frankly, I don't think it matters for the reason I stated before. With the introduction of Saber, we now both have a potential training target proper, because non-magical promotion levels are actually things we can try to aim for before the relevant middle statues, and a very nice weapon in the form of the Golden Dagger, or due to text constraints, the G-Dagger. It has 5 innate crit, so in my adjustments I bring it up to 105. This is perfect, because since the boss has 7 luck, they can only be crit by the Golden Dagger, so Saber will be fighting them for me. Additionally, due to the fact that for now, May doesn't have a skill issue against any relevant enemies, I can also bring up the crit of Thunder. On turn 1, May moves forward and attacks with Thunder, which because of how Sacred Echoes does spells by having you equip the last one you use, means that she'll use Thunder against all of the enemies who attack her on enemy phase. Sally swap forward Saber. Both Saber and Jenny move forward their full move. So yeah, Saber's crit being 102 on the boss means that very clearly the Golden Dagger crit is needed for this round of combat to happen. This is a 2-turn flaw because the pirate by the chest doesn't move. I give Sally a kill on turn 2 because I want her to get Seraphim guaranteed for Seabound Shrine. It turns out later that she doesn't need this in order to do so, and she also doesn't need to help with the Necrodragon anyway, but it's fine. In the course of these 2 turns, I cannot get the chest, the contents of which is the Hide Shield. This is ultimately fine due to the way in which I rig combat. Any circumstance where the Hide Shield would have been fundamental for someone's survival is one where I would simply edit down the enemy's hit rate anyway. Next up is Chapter 11, Zofia Seaway, which leads us into the Pirate Throne. So I just move May forward to do a bit of killing, because I think that she might be helpful. It turns out there's a critical square that she can reach and hit everyone, but she doesn't have enough skill to crit the boss, so this is still a 2-turn flaw in the end. I move Saber forward. I'm not entirely sure why I moved Bowie forward. I think the idea was because it's not like Celica was going to do much anyway with her starting position. For some reason the enemies seem to when they have no hit, prioritize getting killed on the Saber, which is fine, because as I said, he's the only actual experienced target at this point in time. I think at this point I just looked at the kill that Jenny had on that Archer and was like, well, sure, you can get this kill. Really, what I should have done, if I wanted to make my experience slightly easier, was have Saber kill that Archer, but there's no need for him to do so, so it's all fine. And then on the enemy phase, he gets to kill the boss with the Golden Dagger. She's a black female pirate, which is very cool. Unfortunately, still has to die though, for the sake of the clear. Right after Zofia Seaway, we head straight onto the Pirate Throne, which is another Seize map, where Celica obviously needs to seize. It doesn't really matter how I position folks here, because most of the combat is going to be done by the people who join on this map. Still, Mage just thunders down their enemy because she can, and everyone else moves forward. Because I set the crit of the iron bow that Leon has equipped to 100, that means that all of these enemies go and kill themselves on Kamui. We get Invoke, we're never going to use Invoke. Because of the way that the tiles have worked out, after Jenny kills this here Archer, Celica is going to be able to move up and recruit a Valbar. While he would get recruited at the end of this map anyway, along with all three of these units, we do need them to be recruited because of the contributions that Leon especially is going to do on this map, although Kamui is going to contribute a fair bit as well. So Leon needs to go and kill this bandit over here. And yeah, the movements of these units don't matter. Kamui gets lots of kills on the enemy phase, and Leon kills the other Archer. Swap tech continues, and Leon attacks Bath, who he has a boss combo against, which is quite nice. In the process, he levels up. Leon kills the Mage, because on enemy phase he's going to get attacked by Bath's hand axe. And there he is. Leon's obviously very close to promotion level, no surprises for what exactly is going to happen with that. And yeah, Kamui can't kill that enemy in one round of combat because Iron Shieldman, I guess. This is the final turn, so we're just going to figure out who can do what for self-improvement. Mei kills an enemy. Kamui gets the Iron Shield off of this enemy here. And yeah, we were never going to be able to reach that chest anyway, so that means that this is going to be a 5-turn clear of Pirate Throne. Now it's time for Chapter 13, The Resurrectionist. Before that, we have to go to the shop to buy a torch, and I think you can tell the reason why. Yep, that's because it's a Fog of War map, baby! So Leon needs to be in that exact position, and I'm just trading people's positions round. First of all, Valbar uses the torch, and Leon shoots down an enemy. Everyone else just gradually moves forward, and that's the Cantor. Leon and Kamui obviously get a lot of kills. Leon's able to promote, which is really nice. And then this dude. Oh, this dude, how much I hate him. And that's the Cantor's position. Valbar moves forward so we can see the Cantor right there. He's very, very nice and has 0 luck, so he'll definitely be able to get crit. Jenny heals for some chip experience, and this dude, so, there's a chance that he can instead move to this tile, but he didn't, which is very annoying, and means that that's why we've got Celica nearby, so she can just kill. At least she learns Seraphim, so we've definitely got that. And then Leon kills the Cantor, and because obviously in this context he's the one who's quote-unquote summoned all of these enemies, means that the map just ends. We get the life fruit for some HP, and the map is over. Now, because it's part of my rule set for this LTC, that means that now we have to immediately go and do the Seabound Shrine, where we will hopefully be able to promote all of Leon, Kamui, and Saber, although Saber and Kamui haven't got to promotion level yet. First of all, we just bust down the wall with Mei, and everyone else just starts moving towards it who needs to promote. Anyone who isn't starts moving towards the location of the enemies to the bottom left. Very rudely of Kamui, he's now 1 experience off promotion level, which is so irritating. Kamui moves forward his full move because he needs to get more experience. And Mei swaps with Saber because he needs to get into a specific position next turn. Jenny just starts moving forward as well. Now, finally, Kamui can promote. So the reason why we had to swap forward Saber is because now that he can actually kill this enemy and also hit promotion level, which is very nice. So we need to get rid of this Necro Dragon. My solution at this point in time was to move Kamui forward, but there's really no reason why I had to move him there. It could have been Leon instead, and he probably would have gotten the kill thanks to triple effective bows. Deal very minute amounts of damage to that enemy. Mei attacks. And Leon gets to promote into a sniper. Now I have Kamui visit this fountain, but really what I should have done was I probably should have saved that so that Leon could get it, because he's going to be the one doing a lot of boss killing from now on. Jenny continues doing more things, kind of inconsequentially. Because the boss gives 100 experience upon a kill, that nicely means that Leon gets level 2 as a sniper, and we get the Holy Ring. Now it's time to promote Saber. In hindsight, rather than moving Leon just to the right, I should have actually just had him go and visit the fountain that he actually can go to. Anyway, we have Kamui promote. Because Orm and Celica in this hack can open up chests and break down doors, we get the Steel Sword, which could be another item but doesn't really matter, and the Holy Sword, which might actually matter. And then Mei kills the final enemy, that's stationary, to end the map. Before Chapter 14, the Warship, I did a lot of inventory management. So much of it that I actually had to cut out quite a substantial amount. But basically the important parts are that Kamui has the Holy Sword and Mei has the Holy Ring. I was just spending an obscenely long amount of time looking through all the enemies here. The important thing is that this pirate boss here is 6 luck, so we need to have 14 skill to crit him. Both the Myrmidons have this now. In terms of positioning, I think that it's going to be a Leon sweep. Annoyingly, he currently doesn't have enough skill to crit the boss, but this will be quickly remedied during the map itself. Yeah, it's just a swapping forward Leon. In the end, I have him attack the Mage, because obviously the stats of magic needs to be set at maximum, because this is what my mages will use for attacking themselves. And everyone else just moves up. And the Leon sweep begins. This is when I realise that enemy doesn't move. We swap forward Celica a bit. We just kill more enemies with Leon. And everyone else continues to move. I just have Jenny heal up Leon because he's going to be moving a bit far ahead. On enemy phase, he'll take care of that Axe Fighter, and presumably some other enemies are around as well. Leon now has enough skill to crit the boss, if I want him to. And here are some more enemies. It's not possible to clear them out before they show up, so yeah. I decided to just have Leon get rid of the boss. And once again, people continue to move forward. Once again, whoever Leon decides to kill is ultimately inconsequential, especially against the Dark Mages, because all Dark Magic hit I've set down to 0. And there's a Witch. Fortunately, it seems like by moving someone into their range, they won't do the warping thing and mess up my plans. We get 3,000 gold from the chest, and we kill this enemy here, so now on the enemy phase, the map will end. So ends with a level 8 Leon, and us starting to be able to level up our Myrmidons. So after that 6-turn clear of the Warship, we now have Chapter 15, the final map of this act, which is Zofia Port. It's very important for everyone to start in the positions that they do, because everyone has rather defined roles on this map. I have Leon get rid of this knight. The right side is mostly handled by the boys, and the left side is handled by the girls plus Saber. She heals up Celica because she can, and because it allows her to reach level 6, and we have to swap Celica forward. Leon's rampage continues, and as a result of getting this kill on enemy phase, Bowie now has Thunder. Leon continues doing his thing. Celica kills this enemy here, and as a result she hits level 8 and so it gets Thunder herself. Because she can, we get the support and we heal up as well. With Thunder, Celica is able to get to this exact tile and kill the archer. And we just have Saber kill that pirate there. We also get the support between Leon and Valbar. And Bowie gets rid of that last pirate there from the sea for us. And now there are more! We get the Killer Axe, even though we're not actually going to be really using it, probably. It's just nice to have an extra weapon with innate crit. And from that village we just got Ambrosia, which is essentially the Draco Shield. So on enemy phase, Mage is going to kill these 2 Cavaliers. And this boss actually has an Angel Ring on their person, meaning that we're not going to be able to crit them at all. So that's why I have Celica there with an Iron Sword, which I set down to 0 crit. And while it's not strictly speaking accurate to the methodology, because I would always been able to kill anyway, I just do that without adjusting down the crit. And Leon's now level 10, meaning that we'll be able to have Bow Knight when next we see a Miller statue. This means that the map will end on enemy phase for a 5-turn clear of Zofia Port. And there we go. That's the conclusion of Act 2 in 31 turns, which I believe is the turn floor. Next time we'll be able to get onto the route split between the two, and I'll be starting on Celica Act 3. Thank you very much for watching, I hope that you enjoyed, and see you again next time. Until then, have a good one.